And welcome back. You clamber within the shaded ruins that once was the abode of Ludinus Deleth, and within here you begin to uncover some notes, some themes, and apparently some sort of odd enchanted section of a wall. But before you're able to dig too deep into what that is and what it may contain, Chetney climbs the ceiling to check for other...
For everyone's safety.
Of course. And in doing so, seems to call forward or awaken some sort of strange, amorphous creature that emerges and slops down into the center of the chamber. Its weird, shifting skin and tendon-like flesh with mouths and teeth occasionally emerging and crying and baying like all number of various predatory creatures and animals. All of you begin to back up against the wall as it lands and emerges. Frida, you're up first. Go ahead. As this thing lands on the ground, its weird growling and baying and crying sounds that are coming from the multiple mouths are like filtering into your brain and it's starting to hurt your consciousness. You take 7 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
I will take 2 shots at it.
Go for it. Dang, 20. 40 points damage, 1 round. Second blast, you can see like chunks of it kind of flying off, and with each hit, you can see parts of its kind of flesh sliding off and kind of darkening into a gray-brown coloration as it falls off. Does that finish your turn?
That finishes my turn.
Alrighty, Chetney, you're up with FCG on deck.
With my bonus action, I am going to use a Blood Curse of Bloated Agony.
Okay.
Creature. And then I'll use Torment, which is already out, Turmoil, and take 2, I'll leap off the platform that I'm at and take 2 swipes.
And so 2 strikes on that, the ice like gathers and sticks out in shards before it immediately melts and seems to almost be swallowed by its physical form before the ice vanishes within. End of your turn, it's gonna go ahead and use a legendary action to chew. 19 points of piercing damage. Woo! As you strike twice and watch as part of it separates and opens and it seems to like grow teeth for a moment that slam down onto your body and try and pull you in, but the teeth move like they're serrated in different edges and like glide and tear through before you pull yourself free. FCG, you're up with Imogen on deck.
Okay. Then I'll do bonus action. I'll cast spiritual weapon.
And what is the form of your spiritual weapon?
You said he's moist.
Glistening.
I'll do something that he hates.
He slops.
A nice thick terry cloth towel.
Just like a giant terry cloth towel appears pretty much right in the middle of Imogen and Fern and kind of like.
Yeah. It's just rolling itself up, getting ready to
there you
whip.
Go. I like that. All right, finishing up that go. Imogen, you're up.
Okay. Can I use Frida as a little jumping? Like, can I bounce off his leg?
Go you can over, certainly try.
Go past.
And my leg
land next to Chet.
For it.
So you run and leap onto Frida's knee. Frida, you don't realize this is happening until suddenly you see this purple blur. You instinctually shift out of the way. Your foot just has nothing to land on. You hit the top of the stair and begin to fall down from where you came up the stairs.
Oh no, she's going down the stairs.
No. I don't do that. Can I shoot a spell off then while I'm falling?
What are you trying to do?
Fade away, jumper.
I'm trying to lightning bolt him.
As you're falling back?
Leave your hand up at the end.
So as you like, as you fall back the steps, you just fall on like lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Like Ghostbusters, streak across the room like bolt.
It would go. I figured it would go.
So it tears through part of it on the side, and then you hear. You take a point of bludgeoning damage. But you do and finish sliding the last few stairs towards the bottom, like.
She brings the tailbone, you guys.
The dress is over.
Oh, that was my head.
Her ephemeral skirt to her face.
All right, now for the creature's turn. It's going to use Chew again. It's going to go for FCG. 21 points of piercing damage.
How many?
21 points of piercing damage. Legendary action, finish there. Now on its turn.
Oh, no.
It's going to do constrict attack on you, Fern.
No.
Hey!
So one of the tendrils whips out and hits you for 8 points of bludgeoning damage, plus 17 points of slashing damage. as the tendril wraps around you, and as it begins to pull you like towards its body, on the inside of that like tendril, you can feel like almost like fingernails and teeth like grinding through like an interior of a buzzsaw beginning to dig into your body. You are currently grappled, and then the other bite attack is going to go again for you, FCG.
Oh, me?
Yep. It tries, the mouth actually opens and closes on you, but the new armor that you've had fitted to your body, it can't pierce before you like wrestle out of its grip, and you feel like teeth breaking and hitting the ground, scattering before you.
Don't worry, Frida, I'm okay.
The other side of the room is now also beginning to burn.
So
from where the lightning bolt struck.
Was there
the dried roots and the vegetation is now starting to catch. It's going to use 2 legendary actions to consume. That is going to be 30 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And 24 points of slashing damage.
I'm down. I'm down.
You watch as Fern just gets eaten.
Oh no, you guys.
Top of the round, Frida, you're up. You just watched Fern disappear.
Matt, where is
Something
your
on my
chill, dude? I'm gonna stick my hand inside of it and try and grab onto her.
You push into its body, and it hurts. I'll say the process of doing this, you take 2 points of piercing damage just pushing through the body. You reach in for something that feels different from this terrible kind of blender you're essentially trying to squeeze past, until eventually you find something that feels soft and furrier. And as you pull back, you have a hoof, and you just yank until eventually you watch this creature, Ace Ventura, give birth to Fern.
God.
I'm going to action surge, so I'll pull her out, spare the dying,
Okay.
action surge, and I get 1 shot.
You get 1 shot.
19 points of damage.
You got it. It tries to snap towards you. One of the jaws extends, and you just pull out of the center of its focus just in time. Chetney, you're up with FCG on deck.
I'm gonna reach out with my sexy claws.
Yeah.
And be like, can't see this. And I'm gonna touch Fern and cast invisibility on her.
All right. Top of the turn, in the center of its body, you watch as one of the mouths kind of cracks wider on one side, then tears on the other. And this large mouth, like kind of 15 feet from side to side, almost like Pac-Man's open on one side. And you hear the sound. This awful sucking noise before black miasma from the corruption of the force just spills out of it in the front direction. 19, 6 points of necrotic damage.
9.
You take 12 points of necrotic damage, and your maximum hit points are reduced by 5. That finishing its go. Deanna, you're up with Fern on deck.
Okay. So I'm gonna, as an action, channel divinity, preserve life. You get up to half your HP back.
Nice. Fern, you are now conscious on the ground.
I'm looking a little wild, and I'm going to cast Blight.
So as you focus your nature's fury into this creature, it is by its own physical existence a corrupt entity, but this is a different type of corruption. This is pure decay on the arc of nature, and as you strike it with the spell, the blackness spreads across its body, and you watch as large chunks of its form begin to crumble into ash and kind of tumble off. Fern, you see, Imogen, you look over and see down the stairs, like bits of it are like, and then it hits like 3 or 4 stairs down before it just kind of scatters into ash. Finishing your turn, it's going to go ahead and take legendary action to chew you, Frida, as you're the one that's closest to it at the moment. 12 points of piercing damage.
Wow.
The flames begin to spread.
Uh-oh.
Ah, shit.
This dried tree that's grown on the inside of the tower is now beginning to catch.
Oop.
Nevertheless, that brings us to the top. Frida, you're up with Chetney on deck.
I'm going to pull out my crossbow. I'm going to light one of the arrows on fire
Okay.
and shoot.
So you're going to go ahead and walk over this way.
Cool.
Yep, I'll walk over there.
3. You can feel the intensity of the heat. You go ahead and take the crossbow, kind of hold it in there. You feel your whole arm begin to heat up just in the proximity. The flame catches. You turn around and fire the bolt. As the flames strike the inside of it, and you hear a bunch of the baying mouths that are kind of occasionally emerging, now pushing out at once and all screaming together like a bunch of high-pitched wolf screams, like all different places. It doesn't seem to like the fire. Chetney, you're up with FCG on deck.
Yeah, I'll stay where I am, and I'm going to swing the scythe and cast Shatter just above where it's slopped down into the hole.
You've got it.
22 points of thunder damage.
You watch a whole like upper section of it just splatter against the stone wall and roots around it. Finishing Chetsko, FCG, you're up with Imogen on deck.
I'll just try to go up and try to saw off some of its some of its bits.
Okay, so you managed to ram your saw into the strange amorphous form of the creature, and your saw just kind of gets stuck. It's like you feel it like tugging on your arm a bit before you have to like pull free. End of your turn, it's going to use another legendary action to attempt to bite you. That's going to be at 25 points of piercing damage. Alrighty.
It's bad, we're running.
Imogen, you're up.
I am going to look at it, grab the sides of my head, and just scream. And I'm going to try to psychic lance it straight up the butt.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so you scream into it, and you watch as its weird, like, slithering form that's rolling down the steps as it's kind of occupying the space a little bit wider as it does, all kind of like spreads out into like 17 or 18 different like spikes of skin as it seems to like try and pull itself apart at the psychic blast and then pulls itself back. And immediately it goes from like the slow crawl to and you all watch it just vanish from sight as it comes just barreling towards you, like pseudopods, like pulling it forward, picking up whatever debris is nearby. 19 points of bludgeoning damage, plus 10 points of slashing damage.
How you doing? How you doing?
You are grappled.
Man, this thing
I'm grappled.
fucking...
It's going to spend 2 legendary actions to consume you since you are currently held.
No.
There's no damage on this, but you are swallowed.
Oh, I'm just alive and inside it?
Fern, you're up. The creature just vanished down the road. You're on the opposite side towards the wall. What are you doing?
So I am going to just try to look for some movement to where the top of like Imogen's head is, burning hands, and try to just like the top of it to just so she's kind of just standing.
His
Like,
laser hands
just
through it.
laser handed. Yeah.
Sure. You go ahead and like the burning hands is less of a column of fire out there, more like a focused beam that just carves through. The flesh burns away and curls back, almost like a hood. As you do so, it slowly curls into a slightly singed puddle and just kind of hardens like into the ground. As the flames begin to now curl into the space, you see most of the furniture now is catching. You feel confident that there is nothing visible that isn't within the flames necessarily that you haven't already checked.
I think we're good.
Let's get out of here.
With that high enough sound, though, you also hear a cracking sound. Imogen, since you were the one in proximity, you glance over in the center of the room where that hard shell of where the creature you had just destroyed kind of hardened when it dissipated, cracks. And you watch as it breaks past as a limb pours out of it.
No.
God.
We
no.
We gotta get the fuck out of here.
As something is now emerging from the remnants of what you had just destroyed. Right as they're running down, the hard shell cracks open and you watch as a smaller but vaguely humanoid body emerges. It's where there was once like weird glistening skin, it's almost like a hardened, thorny bark, like it's a mimicry of the human bipedal form. It begins to climb its way out with the big hooked ends on it, and as a head begins to emerge, you just see a mouth, no eyes, and these like a crown of tendrils that themselves have almost like a moss and thorns growing out of them.
Oh God, nope. That is a monster.
What are you doing?
So interesting.
Can I cast telekinesis on it as it's coming up?
And all of a sudden, it gets lifted up in the air, and it's like, it's trying to reach for any sort of purchase around as you see ash and flame beginning to light up the top of the staircase as you're holding it aloft.
Get out!
Yeah, we run. We run.
As soon as they are out of the stairwell, I'm going to try to push it back up into the fire room.
Yeah.
You go ahead and shove it back up into the room. You hear this horrible screeching of multiple kind of like vacuous spaces where mouths are trying to form on its like still solidifying body. All right, you shove it up there and you go meeting the rest of the troop. The rest of you go like pushing out of the roots, and outside now, you know, it's dark. There's very little light in the sky beyond just like the faint bit of like fading sunset and the occasional little wisps of blue that you can see dotted all throughout the fog and mist that has coated the streets